And welcome to Temple Israel of Great Neck's annual 9/11 memorial service and commemoration. Can everybody hear? Is this? No. Can everybody hear? It's a little bit.
We can hear you.
Okay, let's try this one. Can you hear? Great. So we are going to get started. This is a service of remembering, a service of honoring, and really a service not just of looking toward the past, but also looking toward the future at ideally what we can continue to build here in this extraordinary United States of America that we all inhabit, all backgrounds, all ways of life. And so even as we look toward the past, we will also, by our mere presence here and by our hopefulness, be paving the way for the future. I invite everyone, as you are able to rise, and Chazan Shamash will lead us in the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Join your voices. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting there, through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say. We are honored to have a number of leaders within our community and a number of individuals that devote their lives to ensuring our safety and protection. I want to acknowledge the presence of a member of our Great Neck Board of Education School Board, Rebecca Yusuf Sadis Sassouni. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Nassau County Legislator Mazi Pilip. And I would like to acknowledge the presence of Saddle Rock Mayor Dr. Dan Levy, who year after year ensures that we have this bridge in order to be able to have our annual commemoration. And I also am extremely honored and grateful to be able to recognize the members of Manhasset Lakeville Fire Department who are here. Let's give them a round of applause. The members of the Alert Fire Company.
Yay.
The members of Vigilance Fire Department. And the members of the Merchant Marine Academy who are here with us. After September 11th, 2001, we were, of course, filled with sadness and anger as we began slowly to internalize the depth of the pain that was caused to families, to our nation, and to humanity. And Fred Rogers, more popularly known as Mr. Rogers, would often say to children, when you are in a situation that is sad and depressing and you're not quite sure what to do, look around for the helpers. Look around, because in every difficult, tragic situation, you will find people who are there to help. And thank goodness, then as now, there are such people who are willing to give of their time, their expertise, and even tragically at times their lives in order to provide the kind of help that we all need from time to time. So I am honored at this time to be able to present Mark Katz, who played a real pivotal role in helping to organize this evening. And he in turn will introduce this evening's speaker. Mark, please.
Thank you, Rabbi. Every year since the World Trade Center attacks, Temple Israel has sponsored this service on the Saddle Rock Bridge. And during most of those years, we have been fortunate enough to have members of the local fire departments with us and speak to us about the activities that they were involved in during those days. This year, we are very fortunate to have as a guest speaker today a member who is not only a member of the Vigilant Fire Company, who is not only a fireman, but during September 11th, worked as a police officer in the 101st Precinct in New York. And he has quite a story to tell. So please join me in welcoming Kevin Campbell, Officer Kevin Campbell, member of the Vigilant Fire Company.
Alert.
Alert, pardon me. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mark. First off, I'd like to thank Temple Israel and the community for organizing this here tonight. I'd like to welcome friends, family, fellow firefighters, and caring elected officials. I've already been introduced, but I'd like to give you a little bit of what brought me here tonight. Resident of Great Fire Company, and my mom was in. About 20 years later, in what some might call a midlife crisis, I joined the NYPD. That career change turned out to be a blessing in many ways, as well as allowing me to better provide for my family. At 39 years old, I entered the police academy after having already spent 2 decades with the Alert Fire Company. Fortunately, my years with the Alert Fire Company gave me valuable experience in handling emergencies and some wisdom which I carried with me into my new career in law enforcement. Plus, for the events at the way, which had an unusual 1010 Winds chopper was over George Washington Bridge. A female reporter stated, "It looks like a small plane may have struck the towers. We're going to head down that way." Meanwhile, I sat in traffic and suddenly she states, "Oh my God." Silent. I waited. She goes, "Another plane just struck the other tower." I immediately knew we were under attack. That was no mistake. That was no accident. I got off the Long Island Expressway. First police station I found was Lake Success. I pulled in, I identified myself. The sergeant came out, he says, "Holy crap, I just watched live news. The other plane hit another tower." He brought me into the coffee room, the news was on. I called my precinct. They said, "Go home." I said, "What?" They said, "Go home, we'll call you." Home. They were in school, I was by myself, my wife was working. 9:59, the news showed South Tower. Called my wife, said, "I'm going back to work." Car collision. My car wasn't going anywhere. I saw one of my bosses drive by. I tapped the trunk of the car. I said, "Boss, you going to work?" He goes, "Yeah, is that your car?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Stay with it." And he drove off. No police officers going to a motor vehicle accident that day. Looked around. I called my buddy from the midnight tour. He says, "I'm stuck. I can't get out of traffic. I'm coming." I said, "Tell you what," pulled out my Hagstrom map. I said, "I'll get you to me and us down to the 101. So he got there. We made the 101 a little after lunch. Bosses said, "Suit up and cover patrol." Day tours already went into the city. I covered patrol. Later that afternoon, I got a phone call telling me that both Jonathan Ielpi and Brendan Ielpi were in the towers. I was still running around on patrol. I didn't have time to comprehend or absorb that information or that loss. So finally, I got a short meal break. I went up to the lounge and I just sat there in shock. And I went back out on patrol. My wife called me later. She goes, "Brendan is safe." Brendan was not in the towers. I was grateful. Excuse me. The next morning, the ad hoc squads that were set up, my squad was sent to Manhattan, not to be on the pile, but to inspect construction vehicles and trucks coming in and out of the city. So for the next 4 to 6 weeks, every other day, we were in downtown Manhattan. One afternoon, we were on Liberty Street doing security. Shut down. All lower Manhattan was shut. All the government agencies took over the stores, made temporary headquarters. There's a big FBI site, and then they had airplane parts on the other side. So there came a time we were working, and there was a tractor trailer sitting idling on my post on Liberty Street. Checked it out. I couldn't find a driver. I checked out the vehicle. It appeared safe. Nothing suspicious. The chief came to me and says, "Move that rig." I said, "Yes, sir." Started looking around again, looking for a driver. I couldn't find him. 10 minutes later, the chief comes back. He said, "I said, move the rig." I said, "I can't find the driver." He said, "I didn't tell you to find a driver. I told you to move the rig." Thank God I drive fire trucks. They're not the same as a tractor trailer, but that was my first day as a tractor trailer driver. I moved it down to the West Side Highway on Liberty Street, all the way down. Came walking back. And as I go back to my post, the guy comes out in dungarees, t-shirt, and a baseball cap, carrying about 5 pair of pants and a new pair of boots. And he's looking around. "You looking for your truck?" "Yeah." I said, "What are you doing with 5 pair of pants and a pair of boots?" That's for guys on a pile. It's not for truck drivers who don't have to get out of their rig. Well, I was a little uptight. My partner stepped in and said, "Your truck's down on West Side Highway." And we went back to post. Fortunately, the rest of our security details there were uneventful and pretty routine. And that we are asked to trust in it, even when we do not understand it. Back in the 80s, I took the test to join the New York City Fire Department. I did well, but I didn't make the cut. I was utterly disappointed. But looking back now, I believe the Lord had other plans for me. I believe there's a reason I wasn't a New York City firefighter on September 11th of 2001. And my guess is his plan brought me through the storm and back here to you. And once again, we are gathered here in sight of the Freedom Tower in New York City to fulfill a promise 24 years ago, made 24 years ago, to never forget. As I look out across the crowd tonight, I want to offer a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you, because I know that while today is a somber day, it's also a very busy one. It is hectic, emotional, and heavy, just as it was that day. But still, first responders, their families, members of the community show up year after year to remember, to support one another, and to honor each other. That dedication means everything. So thank you all for being here tonight. I'm not done, although it sounds like it. The effects of that tragic day continue to ripple through our lives. I will not dwell on the facts and the numbers. We all feel the weight of them. Instead, I ask you to take a moment to reflect on the heroes in your life, those who stood tall during those days and in the years that followed. How our heroes died is tragic. Moments you shared with them, those are the memories we must carry forward, as well as the patriotism, compassion, and outpouring of love shown by our country. I am grateful to have lived and walked among such men and women as we continue to fulfill our promise to never forget the events of September 11th, 2001, and the heroes and the loved ones we lost. We must also remember the love and compassion that filled our community in the days and weeks that followed. That spirit is part of their legacy. The following firefighters lived that legacy and passed away as a resilient fire company: Chief Jonathan Lee Ielpi, who was the one that died in the towers that day. Trustee and past president Kenneth J. Black. Past president Doris L. Groen from the Great Neck Alert Fire Company. Chief Raymond Plaxis Jr. Trustee Thomas Madigan. Lakeville Fire District. Firefighter Charles M. Karen. As we leave here tonight, I hope you will live and do your service. God bless you all. God bless America. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, see, you gotta let go.
One more time. On behalf of Temple Israel, and also, I'm sure, representing the sentiments of everybody here, we want to thank Kevin Campbell for the heartfelt message that he delivered and for everything that you have given with your heart and your soul to help to protect us, representing all of your colleagues here. So thank you once again for being with us this evening and being with us every day. I want to acknowledge as well the role that Josh Cherry, former chief of Vigilant, played in coordinating this evening's going to ask everyone as you are able to rise for the memorial prayer, the traditional Jewish memorial prayer, El Mai Chazan Shamash, and by Rabbi Schweber. מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומי, אמצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה. במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, לנשמות אחינו ואחיותינו נפגעי הטרור, בכל עשור בספטמבר, ונשמות כוחות כביר גיבור הצלה, שמסרו נפשם על קדושת השם, בעבור שכולנו מתפללים גילוי נשמותיהם. לכן בעל הרחמים יסירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ביצור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום, ושלום משכבם. God of the selfless, God of the strong and the brave, grant a perfect rest among the souls of the righteous, to those who died in service to others because of the September 11th attacks on the United States. May their dedication to protecting life serve as a shining lamp of love, and the works of their hands bring us all merit in heaven. Bless the souls of all who have died to save others, civilians and professionals, the trained and untrained, in every age and in every land, men and women who answered the call of honor, duty, and service. May their memories be sanctified with joy and love. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life, a living blessing in our midst. And let us all say,
Amen.
we'll do the mourner's Kaddish and then a moment of silence. If you know the Kaddish, please join me. Yitkadal v'yitkadash b'merava, b'yama tivra tivutei, b'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon b'yomechon, v'chayed l'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalah b'zman pariv v'yibru amen. Yehi shmei hava v'varach le'olam amen amen. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yifchar v'yishraman v'yinaseh. Hadar, Yisrael, Yisrael, Shemei Kedusha, Rihu, Le'elam, Mikol Birchata, Shirata,
Chushpata Benechamata, Damiran Biama, Libru, Ame, Yehe, Baraba, Mishamaya, Bechaim, Aleinu, Vialkol Yisrael, Libru, Ame, Oseh Shalom, Librama, Ubiyaseh Shalom,
Shalom.
Aleinu, Vialkol Yisrael, Libru, Amen. I invite you to turn around and face the new Freedom Tower to have a moment of silence. Perhaps you were here 24 years ago, seeing the fires and flames, but now a new tower of freedom is there. And we'll break the moment of silence with the sounding of the shofar.
Bravo.
We're going to
Shankar.
conclude this evening of commemoration and remembrance with the singing of God Bless America. Chazan Shamash will lead us. Please let's join in celebration of this great land of ours. Join your voice.
God bless America. Land of beside her and beside her. The night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, fight with hope. God bless America. Most God bless America. My home, sweet home.
Concludes this evening's commemoration.
Good job. Shankar.
Nothing to report together by satellite.